It's very dark. Let's bring it a little closer. Far away. There you go. Definitely too close. You really gotta push this back. Hi, Cora. I'm gonna say hi before I turn it out. I mean, before I kick you out. Yeah. You want to stay for the sound bath? Okay, is that good? Are you a biscuit? Are you a biscuit? Okay, my work here is done. Cora, I can't pet you all day. Come on. It's the first one. The best way to do it. Gotta find a better way to get this out. I almost forgot that I was on camera. Go. Teach that to me right now. Mhm. Okay. I think that's good. Let's see. Okay, that looks nice. Looks nice to me. It's pink. Okay. I'm gonna close it a big one. Is that all right with you? It's not all right with her. I'm not. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Mute. Okay. You're ready. Okay. Mm. Okay. Such bad quality, but it's alright. Mm. Okay. You guys ready for a sound bath? I'm gonna do it at the end of this video. I just wanted to set it up because it's a nice place, a nice little setting. I can see myself on the screen over there, but it's not big enough for me to read comments, so I have to pull it in every once in a while to answer your comments. All right. I haven't been on camera in so long that it feels awkward when I'm used to it feeling really natural. So we're just gonna dive in and get beyond this discomfort because on the other side of discomfort is growth. So let's get to growing. Um, so I want you guys to also, oh, let me put that in the chat. Yeah. Everything looks really good. Excellent. So, okay, put that in the chat. All right, am I close enough? Oh, okay, I think we're close enough. I'm sorry, I forgot about you. Let's do it together. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and exhale through your mouth. Again, filling up your lungs and exhale, letting the air float out of your lungs, emptying completely. It always feels so grounding to just take one deep breath. And then the more you do it, it's like the layers of grounding just add on. And that's all it takes. It's very simple. Um, it's simple in action, but it's not simple to put into habit if it's something new to you. But I have this habit that I implemented in order to help me to take more deep breaths and just be aware of my breathing more. So I would take a deep breath or just be aware of my breathing at every red light. And that's just one thing, right? So you can do it every red light. You can, every time you pass a church, you take a deep breath. Every time you pass McDonald's, depending where you live, you might might pass a handful of those. Take a deep breath. So just finding that one thing that is a frequent enough cue to connect that with taking a deep breath. And that's a really simple way to just start being more aware of your breathing and also get the advantages of breathing more. So we breathe to exchange gases, right? To exchange oxygen, carbon dioxide, and also to um, metabolize. So part of breathing is energy metabolism. So we create energy when we breathe. That's why when you stop breathing, you pass out. You have no more energy. The power is off. So imagine using this already in place function of breathing, using it intentionally and taking deeper breaths more throughout the day so that it becomes more of a habit for you to deep to breathe fully and not so much deep because deep breaths, it sounds unnatural. We don't walk around going, I feel real good, feel real good. But we don't do that all the time. And it's probably not even, highly functional to do that all the time. So the way that we breathe is typically in alignment with how we're feeling in our bodies. So if you're in, there's different kind of stress, but if you're in a stress mode for exercise, your heart rate's up voluntarily, right? And you're in an excited mode, your nervous system is activated, and you're doing these movements, right? That's on purpose. But there's the other kind of stress where it's not intentional, it's not even conscious sometimes, where you are at this low level of stress throughout the day. And you might not even call it that. You might say, like, I'm annoyed, I'm agitated, I'm like easily triggered, right? Being easily triggered means that you're already above baseline. You're not at this um, grounded state. Because when you're from a grounded state, it takes a lot to take you from being grounded to excited, right? But if you're always in this um, not so obvious excited state, it's more subtle, but it's still excited. It's still higher stress than you should be carrying around throughout the day, around the clock, right? Momentarily, temporarily, stress is going to come and go all throughout our lives. It's very natural. We're made to be able to handle that. But what happens in an overstimulated environment and overstimulated habits, like being on our phone all the time, not being able to sit still, when we have those kinds of habits, it's the stillness actually that becomes agitating because you're so used to doing something. You're so used to um, having something grab your attention and direct it and direct it. And so you actually have given your power of directing your attention and focus to where you want it. You've given that away to where it's not in your control anymore. You're just like squirrel, like, everywhere all day. I'm glad I brought water because my throat just dried all the way up. And it's not bad. So the purpose of the meditation, the breath work, the exercises is to get you. I can't see that. I wish I could see you just joining. Hi, thanks for joining. So the whole purpose of um, these practices is to regulate your nervous system so that it's not at a excited state throughout the day. And you want to be able to get excited. You want to be able to be activated. It's part of our survival. It's part of how we improve our fitness. It's part of how we overcome challenges is by being activated, being in that stress mode, overcoming the threat, whatever it is, mentally, physically, emotionally. And then after you overcome that discomfort, you're now in a higher state or expanded state of growth, right? So every challenge, every stress is a precursor to growth. And if we are not using our stress that way, and our stress actually becomes debilitating, it becomes something that stagnates us, that poisons our body um, with stress hormones, with tension, and it really constricts your not only your circulation of your blood, which like we talked about was filtering nutrients, was exchanging oxygen, exchanging gases. It's also going to stifle our energy flow. So energy flow is more subtle than your circulatory system, right? You can see that. We see our blood vessels. It's really obvious what it does, right? Now it is. But your energy channels are the same thing. It's a circulatory system that's full of subtle energy. And so that too, when you have tension, when you're not breathing fully, when you feel sluggish and stagnant, that comes from way within. If you feel it, it's already happening on a subtle level. So when we do these practices, we become more attuned to what's happening on a more subtle level. You can hear the whispers. You can hear um, the comments that your body sends you, the commentary. And if you ignore that, body starts to yell. Our body starts to have tantrums. It starts to act out to get your attention. And as you practice things like mindfulness, and being more connected to your body, being more connected to others. It's an ability that you can sharpen. So as you work with your nervous system and you work with these practices, you're going to be more attuned to sensing imbalance, even knowing where it is in your body or knowing where it is emotionally, mentally, what the root cause of it is, the imbalance. Everything has a root cause, right? So we work with the roots so that we can recognize when there's imbalance in the root. And when you work from the root, you're able to preserve a lot more, um, you're able to have a lot more fruitfulness, more fullness, less um, less squandered fruit. Since we're going with the whole tree metaphor. So that's why I wanted these practices. And when I made a tune, so let's There's one comment in there at the top. I want you guys to look at that and follow Attune Collective. It's the new account that I made because I want to have it really clear and solid on the meditation, the practices that are on there, and just separate it because this channel, you guys have kind of like been with me growing through everything wellness, meditation, mindfulness. And it has like, a wonderful library of videos here. So I don't want to change that. And so I put a tune on its own thing. So go follow that. But if you look at it, it's kind of sci-fi. And when I rebranded, I really wanted to do it for me, things that I like, and um, really put my heart into it as a creative project. I think of it more as a creative project. And so the sci-fi element of just one of the meditations that I've done a lot is visualizing yourself, in this space, visualizing the space expanding. And so it's a Tibetan meditation where you basically zoom out. You're zooming out from the planet, the galaxy, the universe, right? And ultimately, you end up in just pure space. And when I do those meditations and I expand all the way out, I zoom all the way out, there is that space, that lack of physicality, and you're kind of floating in space. And that's how I imagine it being in outer space, because there's a lot more space in outer space than stars and planets and actual like celestial bodies, right? Space is actually real spread out, like even between the moon and the earth and the sun and the earth, we're real spread out, right? Thousands of miles. And so when you meditate and get to that place of emptiness, which is what most people want to feel, I feel like it's not an end goal. It's kind of like the orgasm of meditation, where you don't have to get there every time in order to feel like satisfied in your meditation. Um, and sometimes it's just like there's certain little factors that maybe you had some more distractions. Maybe there's something in your mind where you just couldn't get drop into that sense of peace. You had some resistance that you couldn't let go of and actually get to that spacelessness. Um, but that's mostly, that's the piece that a lot of people um, won't know unless you won't know if you're seeking it. I think it just happens, really. That's how it happened for me. And that's what really made me grab on to really keep meditation as a practice throughout everything that I've done, is because I felt the result of it. Like, it was a peace that I had never felt before. It didn't have a description or words, and I couldn't compare it to something that I've done before or felt before. And so I just started to teach meditation because I'm like, you just have to find out for yourself. Just find out for yourself. It might not even feel the same that I feel, which is why I can describe it. But just do it and see what it feels like for you. And at first, just meditating helped me to drop my shoulders and get into my body and realize that I had been holding tension 24/7. Whenever I'm awake, I walk and hold my body with tension. And I start to put more effort, whether it be like at a red light, I take a deep breath and I drop my shoulders. And just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And you drop your shoulders. And you loosen your jaw. And you unhinge your back, right? Doing things like that. A lot of posture. When I look at people walking around, I can see where they're holding tension in their bodies and how it's affecting their posture, and probably also where they have pain in their body, because you can see where there's going to be tension that's going to lead to pain. If it's around a joint, if they're walking, it's misaligned, or one side is holding a lot more weight than the other side. All those things is just your body showing what you're thinking. It's your body showing what you're holding on to. It's your body showing um, how much you're not letting go and how much you're not forgiving. And it just shows. You have your there was a research that was done on the mouth breathers. So mouth breathers, breathe like their faces over time. change and develop. So you look like how you breathe. And their mouth, their whole dentition would kind of curve out and warp, and their jaws would drop. Here they wouldn't have a lot of definition. Even their dentition, like their teeth being messed up. And it's because your body was not made to breathe like that, right? So your face is going to malform from you malbreathing, badly breathing. Um, and so your body, yeah, your body is just a mirror to what's happening on the inside, which also makes it such a wonderful vehicle to use to heal from deep within. Not just heal physically, but heal your mental capacity, your emotional capacity. I know one thing that moving my body does for me is, whether it's dancing, working out, is I get to really feel it and put my mind and my body in the same place at the same time. So that means that I'm not just thinking about what I'm gonna make for dinner or how many things I gotta do while I'm doing these squats. I'm focused on my form, because if I mess up, I could get injured, right? So there's actually there's pressure on this to be focused. I always say that if there's a higher risk, you'll be more focused. So it's a better the activities that give you the highest or the sharpest focus are ones that have high risk. So you look at rock climbers, athletes, drivers, pilots. Um, their how they do their jobs really, really matters, because the risk of them doing it wrong is great, right? It's a lot of pressure, conviction. So um, when you're moving, and even when you're like working on a project and you're on like a really tedious part, if you mess this up, you might have to start over, or you might have to throw it away. So there's a lot of pressure on it that makes you focus even more. And so next time you do something that requires you to focus a lot, really think about how much of your attention is really on it. Like, how much of your attention is really on what you're doing in that moment? Are you just kind of like doing something, but then thinking about something totally different? And that's the difference between um, not being present, and being present. When you're present, your like mind is in it. And we've been taught to multitask and to glorify multitasking. I even do it. I multitask all the time. And I always catch myself, because I'm like, you're multitasking like five things. You're probably going to get one done, maybe. Most likely, what often happens is you multitask and you don't really get any of it done, or you get everything partially done. So nothing was done to your best of your ability, right? Because you split your brain. So we we have ways of splitting our brains throughout the day, so many different ways. You could be, like I said, multitasking with work. I have my computer screen, I'm working, I have my phone, I have my work phone, I have the TV on. These are all things that you could be doing, right? Just giving you examples. Um, you could have, looking at Instagram while listening to a YouTube video because you have premium, and you can do that. um, Splitting your brain because you're looking at something, you're trying to half-ass read something, then you're also trying to listen to something that's happening. It might be music, it might be a show, whatever it is, but you're splitting your brain. And we have so many options with entertainment these days that it's easy to do, and it doesn't feel bad. Like, it doesn't feel harmful at all, right? But the reality is, we are our habits. So we are an accumulation of the things that we do over and over and over, which is a habit. And so as you continue to split your brain as a habit, you can't help, you can't expect anything else than to have a split brain, meaning you have several streams of dis disjointed thoughts, lack of order. So if you want more order in your life, it has to start with your actions as well. It's hard to get order just in your mind when you are doing something different. Action is the strongest pathway to change. Um, and that's in everything that you do. Let's even say, um, you want to change the way that you think. The way that you think is not going to change until the act of you interrupting those thoughts that you don't want to have. and implementing what you do want, whether it's, to take a pause, to do a positive affirmation, to just negate that thought, um, to think about something else, right? But you have to interrupt that pattern in order to change it. It's the action that changes. It's never going to be just thinking about something over and over is going to change. Some things it does, but for the most part, it's action. So those are that's the reason I'm like, why? What was I talking about? Talking about split brain. That was the reason why I love to use the body in order to actually heal and bring mind body connection. I find that we focus so much on the words and conversations of things and not enough practice. So on the Attune channel, Attune Collective, make sure you follow it. The point of that is to have practices, things that you can do, implement right now, and not so much of the conversations. But here we're going to keep having conversations, all right? So, you guys, um, I'm going to do a little sound bath. And the best way to receive a sound bath is from a grounded state already. It's hard to go from an activated state and lay down and just receive sound waves the same. It's almost like taking supplements after you've eaten a lot of junk. Your supplements are going to absorb a lot better, and either with a meal or empty stomach, depending on which one it is. But let me not bring out Nurse Courtney out on you guys tonight. Let me bring this forward. I can't see any comments. I wish I had eyesight like a hawk, but I don't. So let me see. Mm-hmm. Josh Flag. I got the lotion. Oh boy, I'm almost there. Oh, oh. Okay. All right. That's gonna be a nice little bit to talk about. Oh, love white wine. You know, that would have bothered me at some point in the past. I would have been like, you nasty mother. But I don't really care anymore. You're if you want to be nasty on my life, um, I'm here for what I'm here for. It's like almost 10 o'clock at night. So let's do a sample and let's close this out and I will see you guys on the next one. So make sure you do follow me and subscribe because what I will be doing is um, pop up sound baths. Okay. So let's get into a nice comfortable position. I'm taking some breaths in and out through your nose. And make sure your inhale is slightly longer than your exhale. Feel if your breath is full, if you're inhaling and filling up your lungs, if you're using your capacity the best way you can. And when you exhale, noticing if you're emptying your lungs or if there's still some air left in the lungs to let go of. All right. So you can keep breathing like that. And just noticing the rise and fall of your body. And that's it. Just notice. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. Don't forget to leave a love.